Y'all can give me a little love for that introduction. All right, who's first? Yes.
I'll jump in again. In an earlier speech, later on, I don't even think it was this year, but you were asked about your decision on the presidency.
Yes.
Your response was that you were going to see how things were going to pan out in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's happened, and Republicans have a majority.
Right.
So, what's your
You've been listening to too much radio. There were three factors that I was looking at to decide if I was going to run for president of the United States. You're absolutely right. I was in a phase of prayer for consideration. The three factors, in addition to prayer, now it starts with prayer. Because a year ago, I never even envisioned thinking about it. It wasn't even on my mind. But because of what I had seen going on in this country and because of the depth of the problems that we have, that made me become aware that maybe I need to consider doing something drastic, like maybe run for president. That's pretty drastic. And so there were three major considerations. One, would I be able to generate a grassroots support base across this country? Sort of below the radar. And the answer is I have been able to do that. In the last 7 months, I have given 112 speeches across this country. I've been very involved in the Tea Party movement, the Citizens Movement, Americans for Prosperity, Freedom Works, you name it, a list of 50 organizations that I've basically created an alliance with. So I have a very broad support base of citizens, not politicians, not even Republican insiders, because see the Republican insiders are sometimes their own worst enemy. Now I run as a Republican, but I consider myself a conservative. So the answer to that one is we've been able to do that. Second consideration was going to be if I reach out to financial folk, people with deep pockets. I don't have deep pockets compared to some of these other folk, okay? I'm comfortable, yes, but I'm talking about I needed a few billionaires to say that they will help me raise money and a few multi-millionaires to say that they will help me raise money. And the good news is I found some who have said that they will help me, and they've already started to help me. So that's a plus. And then the third consideration was what happened on November the 2nd, because I wanted to see if all of this voter frustration, anger, everything was going to translate into votes at the ballot box. And it did, in a big way, the change of control of Congress, but also what happened in some of the states. In New Hampshire, where I was there last Friday giving a speech, they were able to change control from the House and the State House and State Senate from Democrat to Republican, both of them after 14 years of Democrat control. Now, not every Republican is a conservative. So you got to separate the party label from the label of your ideological belief. I define a conservative as someone who believes in less government, less taxes, more individual responsibility. That's all you need to know. A liberal is someone who believes in more government, more taxes, less individual responsibility. If you understand the contrast, you can get into a decent dialogue with somebody. A lot of times people argue with one another and they aren't even arguing about the same thing. So the good news is most of the Republicans are conservative. So when I say Republicans took back control, that means that the majority of them are conservative. They took back complete control of the New Hampshire legislature. In Wisconsin, they did the same thing. Threw out a Democrat governor and elected a Republican governor, and they also ousted one of the most liberal senators in the United States Senate. Here in Georgia, for the first time in a long time, every statewide office is now held by a Republican. So we just got to hope and pray that they show their conservative colors. So all three of those things plus prayer. Anybody here work for the formal media? Okay, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Any more cameras going?